Hello. It's pretty late at night on Thursday. Actually, Friday, the 26th of May. And I was up late working in between watching 2 movies tonight. I'm very comfortable. And I got a new bedspread for my bed. And I really like it. I was looking back through, I rarely go back and look at the shit I upload. But yeah, it mostly started about a year ago. And I mostly, I was never really that interested in YouTube. I mean, I did like make some videos of the kids and stuff when they were littler, and like 15 years ago. I don't know. I do that a lot, don't I? Don't know why. I will try not to smack my lips when I talk. And then when I was in Denver, and then just a few random things, but I mostly started about a year ago when so there are 2 time periods mostly that I've uploaded stuff, and unfortunately it's been mostly just the times that I was feeling like crap about a certain person. and so I used it as a way to vent frustrations when I was being blocked and refused communication with my partner. It's kind of sad, actually, but in both examples, it could have been dealt with in a much more easier way than just blocking me and refusing to talk to me about a situation, because I'm actually pretty easy to talk to about stuff. I am. You just have to, treat me right, all that stuff. Not be, keep your manners and stuff like that. I'm actually a pretty decent and nice person. But so yeah, last year was and each time it involved him not wanting to talk to me about his relationship with another woman. And last year it was his ex-wife, but that had been going on for quite some time. I mean, we'd been together like, basically in a relationship, although long distance, yeah, for a lot of the time. But there had been some dishonesty surrounding that, and to me about her, and to her about me, and it's just this weird, like, sort of like triangle kind of a thing. And so I reached out to her. I was nice about it, and I was like, okay, well, I had a flight booked there, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna reach out and say, hey, do you want to meet up, kind of a thing, and like just kind of break the ice and be like, hey, like, let's all be friends and meet up for coffee or something, if because this had been actually, it's not like it was just this new thing. It was like this kind of recurring weird thing over a couple of years, few years. And then there was like things where he'd lie to me about tracking her location on a location app, and lie to me about, if he'd gone to see her or whatever. Anyway, so I tried to sort of bridge the gap there, but that was rejected. And then he told her that I was crazy for trying to reach out to her. And then he blocked me and disconnected. There was no word about it at all. I can't even begin to describe how infuriating, how frustrating, and how just what a mind fuck it is to be basically like, partners with somebody who does that kind of stuff, like over a long distance, and then you're just suddenly like, you're cut off completely, and there's just no, it's just like, it's the weirdest thing I've ever had to experience, like most horrible feeling of when that if you were in the same room together, it wouldn't have gone like that. And the distance itself kind of distorts things a little bit, and so you feel sort of like incorrectly judged or incorrectly handled, treated, or something like that, unjustly. It produced such a wild whirlwind of emotions in me, and I was alone a lot of the time. I lived out in the mountains at that time, and so I guess I didn't really feel comfortable talking about it with anybody that I knew. Just, I don't know. And so I started to just sort of like grab my phone sometimes, or like whatever, and just speak it. And then I think in some way I kind of thought that that maybe somehow I could reach him, and he would get it, and he would care, and he would, I don't know, he would understand somehow if I explained or showed what I was going through, or that somehow, it just couldn't be possible that he just didn't care anymore, or that he couldn't possibly understand how it felt, or something, and that that it was difficult, just that, so anyway, and I really just, I felt really like, I don't know, isolated and whatever, and I wasn't using my YouTube channel for anything else at the time, and I just was kind of like, yeah, whatever. I just didn't care. I was just so, it was like I was past the point of caring. It just was like, it was so, I was traumatized by the whole thing. It was horrible. Um, anyway, I don't know. Eventually we got back in touch and we talked, I think, in it was about February of 2022. And because I knew what had happened was wrong. And I knew that there was probably even more to it that I didn't know about. But anyway, I I eventually forgave him, and then we, you know, we started talking again regularly and kind of patched things up, and things were going along, and then I had to reschedule my flight again because of a family issue of my own. So that meant that my flight was then rescheduled till August. He and I started working on a business project together, which was a good learning experience. But that was quite a bit of work, actually. And so we talked pretty regularly about this, like every day, pretty much. And anyway, then in August, or a little bit before August, when I came out, I did a lot of stuff to make all that happen. I had moved from the mountains out to Oxnard, and I yeah. So he had scheduled a lunch date with his ex-wife, and he told me about that. And I told him that I felt uncomfortable about it because he and I had been talking along the lines of still, trying to work out solutions on our I'm getting uncomfortable. Our situation, our location situation, and anyhow, so that happened, and it really did make me quite uncomfortable, just because he knew how I felt about it, and I was still kind of like kept out of the picture, kind of a thing. I don't think she knew we were together, and it just was this really weird feeling about it. Like, it just, yeah. Anyway, then I came out in August, and after a bit of a uncomfortable, tough discussion about it when I got there. We managed to figure out how to have a good time regardless of anything surrounding that issue. I had wanted him to make sure that she knew that I was there as well. And so he did. However, he had told her that, because she had said, like, oh, why are you back with her? Apparently, you said that she was crazy. Like, why are you with her again? And she said, well, how long has this been on again, you guys? And he said he had told her like a month or two, which was a lie. It had been pretty serious, like for the majority of, since we had started talking again. And like we flirted online sometimes, and we talked a lot, and we yeah, we, for that whole time period, like, aside from a couple conversations about her, we it was fine. Like, our communication was fairly normal, and that sort of thing. It was fairly regular and normal. Anyway, so during that time period, however, during the beginning part of the year last year, I was venting a lot of just crap. And I know it makes me seem like I'm just some negative person, but I'm not. I was just dealing with something very difficult to deal with, and didn't really have an outlet, and didn't see I don't know, it just sort of felt like it helped me somehow, even though it's like, I don't know, it's just sort of like, well, that's just part of my journey. So you might say, like, well, why don't you just delete it? I don't know, it's like, that's part of me, that's part of my journey through life. And it's real, and I don't know, I consider myself a pretty real and authentic person. Like, you'll always know pretty much, if you know me, kind of a thing. Like, you'll always know, yeah, for someone who's like close to me or whatever, like, you'll know what's going on with me, or like what's, if something's up, you'll know about it. Usually. I mean, it's not like I even have stuff going on that much. I mean, my life's pretty boring, actually. But yeah, I mean, everybody runs into stuff, but the part where I felt like it helped me to, I don't know, just sort of, it was sort of like like a video journal, basically. When I needed to let stuff out, I did. And like, oh well, and I would try to, like, sort of interlace some more positive things too. And anyway, so this last time period, over Christmas, again, not Christmas, but basically January, and then the same thing, like, this time was, the blocking stuff happened when I found out about him dating other people and on dating apps. Well, it was back in December when we were, still supposedly a thing. And there was just lying involved and all this sort of stuff. So, and then I was, then he blocked me and stuff after that. After um, when he told me about it, I was trying to process it all on my own, but you know, so last year, I had made the videos about the emotional cheating, private again. Anyway, this year when all that stuff happened, I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna just fuck it. I'm gonna not make them private. It's all part of it. It's all whatever. And yeah. So anyway, I was upset when he. I mean, I I think I was just more like I was surprised. I was still like hurt and stuff, but it was like I was surprised and I was trying to process everything on my own. And then the next day I get this nasty text, and like there were three reasons why I responded really negatively. One was um, the tone was very nasty from him. Secondly, it was based off of an assumed lie about me. Him saying I thought we were still in a relationship, which couldn't have been further from the truth. Um, and thirdly, because um, he broke another agreement. So I was like, oh yeah, well. Anyway, I just was like, that's it, I've had it. F you. And anyway, yeah, I was just like the audacity, like the nerve, like how inconsiderate of you. Well, I'm trying to process this on my own. Like, it really? And you send me that? Come on. And then you blame me for whatever. Like, I just was like, oh my god, dude, stop with the like, jerking me around and the inconsistency and all this sort of stuff. Anyway, so yeah, since the beginning of this year, I started, um, you know, just talking into the camera and stuff and just talking about it. And it actually does help me, like, kind of mentally, like, it like makes me feel better after the fact. Because I feel like even if nobody listens the whole way through, I can at least, you know, imagine that I'm talking to somebody and that, without someone cutting me off, interrupting me, arguing with me, telling me what to think, telling me how to think, telling me that I'm wrong, anything, or just like sitting there getting bored in front of me, and which is also really rude. Like if the person's just like, yeah, this is just a bunch of bullshit. Like you just ramble too much, and you just, which might be true, but the point is that showing that, or like with body language or words, is kind of rude, you know. And I don't want to be affected by that. So me just making a video and throwing it out there is super harmless to me anyway, like, because I don't really care about it. Like, I'm just like, whatever. um I'm not trying to be anything or anyone. I'm not trying to impress anybody. I'm not trying to change the world. I'm not trying to, it's like, it's a very selfish purpose, actually. So, anyway, I know I've already made this way too long. But I'm feeling pretty good now, actually. And I'm just kind of killing time at the moment because I couldn't sleep. So, yeah, I better get to sleep because I've got to get up early in the morning for a meeting. So, ciao.